Welcome to the M2 podcast. This is episode 14. This is the show where we cover esports and personalities, gaming industry related news, new and upcoming games, and also a little bit of technology and innovation. And I am your host, Michael Anthony. My co-host is Mr. JK aka Kyle Heath. And pretty much, what have you been up to the past week, Kyle?
What have I been up to? Let's see I did play some stuff this week. You know, I'm not ashamed to admit this. I think I've talked about it before, but I was playing some Roblox again this week. And let me tell you, Mike, let me tell you.
Is it that good?
Like when you first hear someone say, I feel like when a lot of people, when they first hear someone say, like, yo, you play Roblox? Like, why do you play Roblox? Like, what, like, play something else. What are you doing? Like, listen, there are so many different games that are developed in the Roblox ecosystem that there is something for everybody. And I've just been having fun. We've been like, there's like all these shooters and stuff I've been playing. Like these just like that, like FPS games that operate like a Call of Duty. Like it's that smooth and that fluent. Yeah. And you just like it's like gun games like that. There's one game I played called Arsenal, and it's quite literally just like a gun game FPS where you just go in. There's like different modes and like different versions of gun game. You just go in, like you just shoot people and kind of go through the ranks, and it's whoever goes through the most ranks at the end wins. It's kind of just like first to like 31, I think it's 31 kills, 32 kills, but first to that, you go through all that and you win. Little things like that.
That's pretty sick.
There's like a lot of those, like, because when there's really nothing to play, it's like my default game. I'll just like go and see what they have, and like just things to waste time, really. But I've been playing a lot of that. I don't think, maybe a little Halo at some point, but that was about it. I haven't really played too much else. What about you?
I'm about the same, actually. Like, not Roblox, obviously, but I've been sticking to Halo for the most part. I've been playing Halo 2 again.
Yeah.
I had the tournament last Saturday. That was kind of like a pop-up tournament. They kind of decided on like Thursday or Wednesday before we like aired the podcast episode. And I was like, yeah, I'll sign up. Had a lot of fun. It was a good time. Played a little bit of Rocket League, which upcoming story bit if you guys stick around. Very excited to talk about that.
Oh yeah.
And also my buddy last night, I was running games of Star Wars Battlefront 2. Apparently there was an update to get rid of a lot of the hackers. So for people that don't know, you might not know this, is EA basically stopped supporting Star Wars Battlefront 2. And the hackers got around the anti-cheat, and it was almost unplayable. Like every game you got into, there was people dropping like 100 plus kills, and they were unkillable. Like they would get heroes very quickly, and you couldn't kill them because they're cheating. So it was really bad. But apparently he was telling me, he was like, yeah, they patched it. There are no more cheaters. And we were playing our favorite game mode, which is Heroes versus Villains, where it's 4v4, and you have like obviously the Sith versus Jedi.
Yeah.
And you swap back and forth, and we were just running around there catching up. It's such a good game to chill and like talk to your buddies, but also you're doing it as Yoda or like Emperor Palpatine. It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
So yeah, had a bunch of fun doing that.
Nice,
so,
nice. I mean, you
yes,
didn't really like get too much detail, but I know that tournament you played in Halo 2 was kind of small, but what place did you get? Like, what did
got
you
second
place?
place?
Yes, sir, that's what I'm talking about.
Place. Yeah, I felt like we should have gotten first. I think that we had the better team composition, but we weren't working as the better team.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
yeah.
It's like we had a couple of people here and there. We were just like not seeing eye to eye. We weren't really listening to each other. But I mean, second place is second place. We got prize money, so
That's still pretty good, man. Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Get prize money, especially against like the crew of people you guys normally like run those tourneys with. That's pretty good, at least in my eyes.
Yeah, they're pretty serious. Actually, that's the first time I've streamed on Twitch in like over a month, I think.
Oh yeah, you did stream it.
Yeah, and I had a pretty good group of like viewers towards the end. I think it was like pushing over 20 or something.
Yeah, man.
I try not to pay attention too much to the numbers because it like gets in your head, but yeah, it was cool.
Still
it was
good,
a lot
man.
of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
What do we got going on this week? The week in review.
We have quite a bit of articles, quite a bit of little things. Definitely some stuff to go over. I want to start off with the fact that GPUs are back, baby. This is an article from Gizmodo I pulled, talking about the gap, and I guess the what seemed like the ever so large kind of gap to buy a graphics card at MSRP is shrinking and shrinking and shrinking, and it's very close to being MSRP price now for a lot of these cards. Um, the article actually shows some good data, which we'll get into in a second. And they say in the article it's the whole GPU kind of craze and time and time again whenever these like price spikes happen and this gouging happens, especially in the past, it's been like there's almost seems like there's no end in sight. But it says they're saying now it's kind of going to be sort of a happy ending coming up here. The GPU stock's finally normalizing, and the price of AMD and NVIDIA graphics cards is dropping to the point of nearing MSRP. Signal this new era, NVIDIA launched a restocked and reloaded campaign in the UK, which features in-stock products that you couldn't dream of purchasing just a few months ago. So the UK, EU boys are getting some light at the end of the tunnel too with a lot of this stuff. I can imagine it's probably a million times harder to get a solid price on a graphics card over there. So that's always good to hear. But the thing that interested me the most about this, of course, is a chart which I pulled up to the people watching on video. It's essentially a graph from, let's say, it looks like it was January of 20. Yes, we see January, I guess, of last year, 2021, leading up into the current day. And we could see towards the beginning of January 2021, it was kind of it was about 142 to 134% above MSRP. In May of 2021, it spiked very badly. I think the highest tier says NVIDIA, the 30 series, was roughly 300 to 18% higher than MSRP.
It's crazy.
AMD was still kind of bad. It was 216, but it certainly wasn't as bad as NVIDIA. That sort of evened out in June, July of 2021. And it's kind of been a steady sort of arc leading up to the end of 2021. And ever since January 2022, just a few months ago, it has been slowly and actually hitting a pretty gradual decline ever since and getting very close to MSRP price. It says as of April 17th, I guess when the last data point was taken of this year, it is NVIDIA is 119% over and AMD is only 112% over MSRP in percentage. So I don't know. What do you think, Mike? This is it's kind of like, we're seeing kind of with the consoles too, the shortage is kind of dying down.
Yeah. So we're getting basically back to normal. You know, the supply chain shortage. One of the things I actually learned about, uh, hopefully this is right. Hopefully I'm not getting false information. But the way the markets are basically working when it comes to production levels, like we had a shortage on I think silicon first and a couple of different composites that go in the chips, and then we had a major shortage when it came to actually shippers. So what ended up happening is like if there was one COVID case that happened in China in one of the ports, they shut the whole port down for like a week. So
Yeah,
that's why
jeez.
everything like there were so many things stuck in the intermodals, like the shipping containers, and they couldn't even come over. It's still that way, actually. Like if you order anything directly from China right now, it's going to take about a month to get to you
Yeah,
if you live in the United States. It's probably less for people that live in like Europe because it's a much closer. I think they use trains, maybe. I don't know. But what I'm trying to get at is like it's not just like a creation issue. It's literally a shipping issue as
yeah.
well. So I think it's good. The availability's coming around. They're going to be launching. I mean, the next series of cards probably in the next 12 months. Um, yeah, just assuming rumors.
Right.
So prices are going to keep going down, but I don't think they're going to drop very far just based on availability. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. I mean, who knows? There's a chance if for some miraculous, reason the stock levels out and like we're back to MSRP price. Maybe even like if
Yes.
there's, especially leading into the next generation, if there's like if we're close enough, they can maybe even do some sales on 30 series, kind of try and sell off some cards. But I guess we'll just have to see if it gets to that point. That's
I
probably
hope.
wishful thinking, but this is
I
certainly a
hope.
good indication, right?
Yeah, let me interrupt a little bit, just like going sideways. We're not going to cover this directly in the episode, but I linked you the AverMedia spring sale, and
Oh yeah, yeah,
AverMedia makes some of their products from like I think Taiwan and Singapore and also like China,
right,
and they're doing all their major headlining products are all on sale right now,
yeah,
which is pretty wild.
yeah,
I mean,
pretty,
they have one of those capture cards that's like two in, one out for it's like a cam link mixed with
yeah,
the
yeah.
1080p. It's like that came out like 2 years ago,
I know.
and it's marked 50% off. It's like, whoa, dude, that's
Yeah,
crazy sale.
it's crazy. Yeah, yeah, that
Um,
webcam you were showing us, that Evermedia webcam, that's like what, $90 off from retail, which is like only
yeah,
250 or something to start. It's
yeah,
crazy.
250 to 160, and then I watched the video of the comparison. It's like, man, they're obviously launching something new, right? You got to clear out space.
Yeah, I'm
I
assuming.
assume,
Um,
like,
yeah, I don't know what their
so,
sales numbers look like, but I mean, compared to Elgato, I have a feeling
yeah,
that they're probably not selling as much as Elgato, which isn't, necessarily a bad thing. I'm sure they're still doing well, but yeah, big sales like this are they oftentimes are tied to, maybe a shortage in sales. They just got to get rid of some products. Um,
yeah, true.
but yeah, I mean, not to say they're bad products though. I mean, I've heard good things about a lot of AverMedia stuff, so
Yeah,
certainly a good alternative if you don't want to go Elgato.
I'm big into AverMedia capture cards. So, I mean, the 4K one that I got, I love it. And
Yeah,
I've compared with other people that have the Elgato 4K, and it just like the specs are better on the AverMedia. It costs a little bit more, but it's also on sale. It's
yeah,
cheaper than the Elgato version, so it's like I would do that if I'm shopping still, you know.
yeah. And I know
So,
Elgato released a couple new products too. I
they
think
did.
I think it was in kind of in competition with some of the AverMedia stuff because like AverMedia, like you said, had that leg up on like some of the pass through like capabilities and
Yeah.
whatnot on their cards. So Elgato kind of responded to that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really good to see. So, basically, tech in general seems to be leveling out. Like we got like the PlayStation stuff,
yeah,
restocking, evening out as well.
yeah.
So
I mean, I still am mind blown by the fact that Xbox like was able to hold stock for so long on their last kind of big
yeah,
restock. It's crazy to me. But I mean, it's happening, man. It's happening.
hmm
Pandemics hopefully coming to an end. So is the
yeah.
shortages hopefully on a lot of these. So we'll start
Oh, but
seeing some more stuff.
going back to this graph though,
Yeah.
one of the things that they show on there, I don't know if you caught this. Why do they have the price of Ethereum?
I think I'll tell you the reason they had the price of Ethereum, and I know it was like this whenever Ethereum was first like starting out, was that it was the only way you could mine Ethereum was with like a GPU. Like you couldn't use ASIC miners on Ethereum, so
Yeah,
like you had to get a GPU. And I think oftentimes, I mean, especially you could see even here around May of 2021 when Ethereum
right.
spiked along with most of the crypto market, you can see that the availability just like the pricing just spiked with it because it's like people were looking for these cards to try and mine Ethereum at the peak, and then it leveled out, and when it went back down and it dipped like to one of its like biggest lows in the past couple of years, so did the pricing
Yeah,
too. So I mean, the reason they include that is because it's directly correlated with graphics cards. And you could see that
very
trend.
interesting.
I mean, you could see here the price because Ethereum had that spike, right? And then they had the pricing went up on the cards, but then they had an even bigger spike towards the end of last year, and like
Right.
pricing. I mean, by that time, most of the cards were already out there, and people were already mining it. So it's like they didn't really need to buy new cards, right? So it just kind of didn't do anything on the pricing front for the cards. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. We may be seeing another spike soon, but I mean, it seems like even with the price leveling out to pretty high percentage on, oh, I guess a roughly high percentage on Ethereum, and the grand scheme of things, it's cards aren't affected now because it's just everyone has them.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
true.
so
Well,
yeah,
it's
that's
definitely
why.
good that they're leveling out
Yeah,
altogether. I just found that
yeah,
really peculiar because it's like, yeah, I didn't think you had to have a GPU. You know, I
yeah,
thought you could still mine it without
yeah.
necessarily using a G. It just
Again,
takes less
yeah, I can't
time
speak for how it
or
is
more
now.
time.
Yeah, I can't speak for how it is now. That was just when it
Yeah.
because I remember I had an internship at a tech company like it's like in the middle of college whenever Ethereum like for me whenever Ethereum first came out, and so it was like I was working at this company and I was working with some like other interns, and one of the interns he had like I don't know what cards he got, but he had bought like 4 or 5 GPUs, He set them up with a motherboard in an egg crate. I'm not even kidding. Literally in an egg crate, he set up these cards with a motherboard, and he said it was solely so he could mine Ethereum. And he like set up a miner and everything on like a Linux box. Like yeah, that was like his thing. He wanted to try and get in early. Don't know what he's doing now. I don't know if he's made money. I hope so.
Probably not working if he did
Yeah,
it right.
I mean, you can only hope, man. He was ahead of the curve on that. 'Cause he tried to build
Good
that
for him.
miner, and I think he was able to get it set up like by the end of the internship. It took him a couple weeks though, I think, to like get it all working and all that. But yeah, I remember at the time it was like this. He walked in like one day with like 4 or 5 graphics cards into our like little apartment. We're just like, what are you doing? Like, and he like explained it all. But yeah, it was really cool. But
Take it
that's
for
how.
gold.
Yeah, I mean that's how it was then. Like you had to use cards. Like you couldn't use ASIC
Yeah.
miners like Bitcoin. So, again, it's probably changed. That was years ago. It's like 5
Interesting.
years ago. So
Yeah.
but yeah, so that is why that Ethereum is there, is directly correlated with crypto. So yeah, prices are going down. Hopefully we see a good level out. But you know we're also seeing level out, Mike?
Tell me.
We're seeing PS5 restocks level out, at least on the Target front. I'm not going to speak for all the retailers. We have this article from Tom's Guide that comes in. It says Target just announced a massive change to PS5 restocks, and the changes are for the better. Target is set to change the way it handles PS5 restocks. The retailer will now allow customers to purchase a PS5 console as soon as each individual store receives inventory. And this is coming from, I guess, one of the reliable restock trackers out there. Jake Randall. Previously, PS5 restock events were held every 2 to 4 weeks by Target. Retailer would wait to build up enough inventory to distribute consoles to all of its locations and then offer these consoles for sale all at once in a single stock drop. However, this change means that consoles will be more regularly available as individual stores will be allowed to sell any PS5s that they receive as soon as they have them. Another very exciting kind of I think turn of events for at least Target, you know, trying to see if there is a way that they can kind of alleviate some of these huge gaps and like drops of these consoles. This is certainly a hopefully I think will be a better solution. Just say, hey, like, you know, if you're a Target establishment and you get a shipment of these in, you should just be able to sell them out the gate. You shouldn't have to wait for everyone else, you know. So I think we'll be seeing hopefully more people kind of get a PS5, especially if they're looking towards Target. Yeah, it's I mean, you can even see, so Tom's Guide, they even have an up-to-date on the same article. They have a restock tracker. You can see like some of the retailers are fairly good. It says Best Buy's last restock, I think, was the 29th. But they actually just had one today, I believe. So the 21st of April. Most of them, as you can see in the article, like Amazon was April 19th was their last restock. At the time of recording this podcast, we're recording on the 21st. A lot of these are on the 19th, so just a few days ago. Best Buy was before today was like a whole month almost. And like I didn't even know Dell sold PS5s. Apparently they had a restock in January. Like Dell just gave up, apparently.
I didn't know that either.
Apparently Costco gave up in February because there was some. I think they had some bundles too. It wasn't just straight consoles, so they definitely sold some since then. But it's definitely been hard to find a lot of these, and these restocks are weeks apart for a lot of these retailers. So Target's hopefully closing that gap. Man, I know you're not really shopping for a console, Mike. So do you have any what do you think about Target trying to get ahead of the curve?
I mean, yeah, we need a retailer to do this. Basically, we need to get PlayStations into the people that actually want to use them.
Yeah.
So the quicker that can happen, the better.
Right.
Real quick, one of the funny things I see is Kohl's. Do you know what Kohl's is? Do you have a Kohl's? Pretty sure you have a Kohl's.
Yeah, we have a Kohl's. Yeah.
It's a clothing store.
Yeah, I know, and they sell PS5s.
They're the most recent restock.
Their last restock was today. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. What? What? Dude, what?
And unreal.
I'm clicking on the link. I'm gonna see if I can find PlayStation 5 right now. Let's see PlayStation 5 in my area. No shot, but they do have an HD camera.
There you
and
go.
Plenty of headsets. I did not know this. Okay, so Kohl's is in electronics now.
You go to Kohl's to buy a camera, dude. Oh,
Heck yeah, that's
so
sick.
funny.
Yeah, but Oh, the other thing for people that listen to us that are big PlayStation fans, they haven't gotten their hands on a PS5, is join Discords.
Yeah,
There are
yeah,
Discord servers where people have bots that scour the internet for drops like this and these like restock tracker like places, and they literally just post anytime there's an update.
yeah,
So you might be able to like try to find something in your area and take advantage of that.
yeah, yeah. I would recommend that. I recently
Hmm.
turned to Twitter accounts because Twitter, there's
Oh
a lot
yeah, that's
of
the other one.
restock Twitter accounts that are really like up to
Yeah.
date. So I've actually like every time they'll like post out a link or something, I'll normally click it to see if it's available. And like most of the time when I click, like it's you can add a cart and everything. You have to wait in a line, but it's relatively easy to get some of those. So either Twitter or Discord, those are definitely good outlets. Um, the article does go on to state that Target actually made the exact same change to how it handled Xbox Series X restocks in May of 2021. And by most accounts, the system works fairly well. It does make tracking Target PS5 restock trends almost impossible, but it also deters scalpers as the system makes buying multiple consoles at once much harder. Overall, this change really benefits gamers who just want to buy a console for personal use, and that's a big win in our book. According to Tom's Guide book, it's a big win. I mean, there's
I
good.
like it.
It's kind of like there's proof in the pudding, right? Like it's like it could work.
Yeah.
It can really like help get just help get consoles and the gamers that want it, you know. So I'll definitely be keeping an eye on Target too, especially my local Target. They over the
What
year.
what's your general rule of or like general feeling when it comes to scalpers?
I don't know. I think like it's weird, right? Like I typically like give just like I don't know, like I don't really support it. I mean, overall, I think it's kind of dumb to sit there and resell a console like for crazy amount of money. I've
Yeah.
heard I've heard stories from other people who've kind of like justified it of like people that have like scalped themselves and like they'll sell like a console for like $800 to someone, but then the person they sell it to says they're like very grateful because they haven't been able to find one, but it's like kind of backhanded because they're like selling it at $300 upcharge. So like, it's one of those things. Like I think overall it's just like I don't like it. It's kind of like why are you doing this? I mean I get people want to try and make money, but there are other ways to make money, guys. Hate to break it to you. Live in a world where there's
Yeah.
like so many ways to make money, man. So, um, yeah, generally I'm not too favorable of it. I don't know. What about you, Mike?
I mean, to me personally, I don't really care.
Yeah,
Like when it comes to scalpers just in general, it's like they're gonna just try to do what they can do if there's an opportunity and take advantage of it.
yeah,
Like from a capitalistic standpoint, that's what I see them doing. But from like my personal standpoint, when I see people doing scalping, it's just like, okay, do what you got to do, but I'm not gonna pay the markup kind of deal.
yeah,
It's like if it's something that I like absolutely need to have or see, like concerts, like
yeah,
getting tickets or going to any type of event, um, at a certain point, it's like what I was gonna pay for the ticket initially, or for whatever it was. It's like I was already guaranteed to pay that. If anything, if they charge like 30-40% more, I was still gonna pay it because that's how bad I want it.
yeah.
So it, it's like, yeah, it's like you said, backhanded kind of thing. It's like you're helping somebody out, but you're also taking advantage. Taking advantage or taking what's the term? Maybe not advantage is the best. There's much more polite term. Taking the opportunity, maybe
I
taking
don't know.
advantage. It's not. I don't know.
I don't know. I think overall it's
It'll
kind of
come to me.
like it's kind of bad faith in my opinion. It's kind of just like I don't like why are you doing it?
Ah,
It's kind of like
that's true.
um, um, I don't know. I mean, yeah. I guess I'll leave it at that. But just know that these
I was just curious.
these consoles are definitely getting easier to get. I think
Yeah,
before it'll probably be a while until we see like available restocks from every single retailer. So the fact that Target's trying to do something different it is and they're ahead of the curve is definitely a good thing because it's
yeah,
ultimately getting us back to full restocks. So let's go Target. Let's go.
yeah. Oh, one last thing.
Hmm.
Always check out bundles
Hmm.
because what people don't realize is that you
Yeah.
can bundle deals are actually more common because most people actually like forget about bundle deals in
Yeah.
general. So they say like, "Oh, the PS5 isn't in stock anymore," and they're all upset, whatever. But then it's like the bundle deal, and it might be available.
Yeah.
You know,
It'll be a
it's
hundred
like
extra
that.
bucks, but you would get like an extra controller and a couple extra games or
Yeah,
something. It's like you get a
yeah.
good
What's wrong
deal.
with that? Yeah, like for example, I just clicked on the one from
Adorama.
Adorama,
Yeah, Adorama.
Ador Adorama.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, it makes more sense. Advertising. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, it comes with an extra controller and it comes with Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Oh, I hear it's
So
good.
I
I
heard
hear
it's
it's
super
good.
good. I love doing this by the way. I love watching like cinematics on YouTube of the
Yeah.
story. And I watched a lot of that and I'm like, this is a movie, man. This is awesome. So
For real.
yeah, just trying to help out people, bundle deals. So
Yeah. Definitely keep an eye on pretty much everything. I think a lot of those restocks, I think accounts and like Discords and stuff too, they do a pretty good job of like letting people know
yeah.
bundles too, because just wherever you can get a
Yeah.
console, man.
Yeah, some of them will actually give you counts, which is pretty cool. Like how many are available.
Oh yeah. But you know what PlayStation's also doing, Mike?
Oh,
Do you
oh,
wanna know?
does this have to do with ads?
Unfortunately it does. Or maybe
Yeah, it
fortunately
does.
for these companies, I don't know, whatever way you look at it.
Yeah.
From IGN, this is an article. PlayStation wants to add. They want ads in their games too.
Mm.
They say too. They want their ads in the games as well. The reason they say this is because Xbox was looking to include advertisements in their free to play games. I think it was sometime last week. That report came out, and so it's like apparently PlayStation's on the same kind of track, try and add advertisements to the games. I think a long time ago, and maybe by a long time, I mean like maybe a year or two ago, I think I heard of NBA trying to include advertisements in like their games at one point. That was like I
Yeah,
think the first like just like dev, like here's a game that wants to do it, not necessarily a whole like console. Um anyways,
that'd be interesting.
yeah, I mean, it really would be. So, according to the Advertising Insider, Sony wants to encourage developers to create free to play games by adding this new way to monetize them behind microtransactions and battle passes. Similar to what we know about Xbox's program, the goal for Sony is for the ads to fit in with the rest of the game, like putting real life ads on billboards and virtual sports stadiums. Which I think stuff like that makes sense, right? Like, I mean, you even see that
Yeah.
like you even see it in FIFA games too. Of like sometimes you'll see like the advertised brands that like partnered with them at the start of the development, so they just slap them on the side of like the field. So I mean, I feel like I've seen stuff like this before. Sony's also looking into rewarding players for watching ads and promotions with in-game items, including avatar skins. So I mean, I think stuff like that's cool too. If you want to like
Yeah.
be like, hey, we're making you sit through an ad, so we'll just give you like this cheap little like thing to like just this is like a thank you for sitting through that. Um, but yeah, there's a article goes into a little bit more. I think one thing that stands out to me the most in recent gaming in like the recent gaming sphere of a time like like a name brand was used and like I'll never forget it was Death Stranding with Monster Energy. That was probably like I will never forget that. Like
Yeah.
seeing Norman Reedus' character like in this super clean like room, and then you just like look on the table and there's just these monster cans on it. You're just like, what? And then he goes up and drinks it for energy.
Oh,
And like they have since taken that out of the game. I'm like pretty sure. Like I don't think it's in the game anymore because I don't know, the partnership broke off or that it was only a limited time deal. But like they had like Monster had like paid for branding in Death
that's
Stranding.
so interesting. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah. And it was really weird too because it's like it's one of the because they said in this article like they want to try and integrate it with parts of games that make sense. And I feel like they really didn't make sense in a game like Death Stranding. Like why didn't they just use like a generic energy drink if they wanted to do something like that, like some sort of mechanic like that? So it's very odd. Like I think we'll have to like see that at some point. I'll have to show you that because it's like it was so weird.
Yeah.
It's just like random like just a monster can is there. Like
One of the things that we can talk about too is like you play PUBG, right? We're seeing people play
yeah,
PUBG.
yeah. Hmm.
Player unknown battleground for people that don't know. Battle royale indie developer kind of thing. And the way to like heal your guy quickly or your character quickly after they got shot or whatever and they're injured is to drink what looks like a Red Bull.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm talking about? The energy
yeah,
drink. It literally says energy drink and it's blue and silver, no logo.
yeah. It's like
It's
that's
like,
Red Bull.
dude, everybody knows what it is. It was, like, thinner and, like, taller than, like, any other can. It's like, that's Red Bull, like, 1 to 1. Like,
Yeah, right. Uh,
so,
yeah, that's
interesting.
like almost ad product placement right there.
So, yeah, when it comes to the advertisements in games, it sounds like what they're trying to do is product placement, similar to what movies do, like big
Right.
blockbuster, like especially any type of racing or like chase scene. They always have like a BMW or like a Mercedes or whoever like sponsored. Or like
Yeah.
sometimes I think one movie had a Lincoln, and I'm just like, who is racing in a Lincoln? Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like, I
Yeah.
get it, cool. Bad Boys did the Cadillac CTS, and that thing's fast, dude.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah. So product placement, I'm kind of cool with, but they said avatar skins, which leads me into the free to play games like Fortnite,
Yeah.
Apex, or like Halo Infinite right now. Imagine getting a battle rifle skin that's Coca-Cola,
Yeah, no.
or getting like pants that I don't know, like your whole outfit looks like it's from PacSun.
Yeah, right.
You
Well,
know,
you got like what is it, Dockers or like the pants?
yeah, or like you have yourself set up as looking like a Tony Hawk kid, like all dressed in Vans, and then like what's the big like Supreme? I guess
Yeah.
Supreme's kind of skate culture too.
Yeah, what was it like Hurley? That was another like skater
Yeah,
brand.
Hurley. Did you
Yeah.
know Hurley's actually Nike?
Is it really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. You know why? This is marketing for anybody. Nike tried to get into the scene and they were immediately shut out because Nike is mainstream.
Yeah.
Skating, surfing is a niche sport. It's more mainstream now than it's ever been before. But initially, they couldn't break in
Yeah.
because the
Huh.
people that skate, they're outsiders typically. They're like individualistic. They don't believe in like following the norm of like Nike has Michael Jordan. That's the most mainstream thing you could possibly be.
Yeah.
So Nike went and formed Hurley and branded it as a surf company that broke into skating.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. So but going back to the advertisements in video games, I'm kind of okay with it. How do you feel about this? Like, you know that mobile games are the most popular gaming out there.
Yeah.
All like the majority of them are free to play, and if you've ever played any mobile game ever, you're clicking ads by mistake all the time.
All the time.
So, do you think this is like a natural way the industry is going to go, or do you think, like, I don't know, do you not like this at all? Like, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, look, if you do ads right, and it's like, there are ways to do ads right. Like YouTube has proved that. Twitch has not proved that. Which has done the opposite.
Facts.
Anyway, won't get into it. But like, there's other companies too that like just kind of do ads wrong. I mean, and
Mhm.
there's a proper way if you do like, which I don't know how they would do this in gaming, but if you do very targeted ads, it works very well. I think is in terms of advertising. So I don't. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they could certainly in like all these like kind of live service games, it'd be relatively easy. I feel if you want to like switch out different companies or like maybe tailor to. Well, see, the thing is, like, how do you tailor to a specific player, right? Like, how do you know what the player likes? How do you like track that kind of thing? So that's I think that's an aspect of it that I'm just like too dumb to like think about. Like, hopefully, someone way smarter than me can figure that out. But if they find a way to make it targeted and make it tailored, I think to the individual, it could be very effective. Or if not, if they can't do a targeted method, just make it so unobtrusive that like it doesn't like pull me out or like I don't like or I just like chuckle at it and move on. I don't like think about it too much or I don't like because like I mean the thing about mobile games and think about a lot of those ads is it's like especially for like a lot of like games where you're like going through levels and stuff and then you just get like hit with an ad and you're stuck there for a minute. It's like you're just annoyed and then they're like that normally those games they'll offer like a $4 like ad free version, but it's like I don't want to pay that because like I'm not gonna be playing this a lot. So it's like, what's the point in paying that? And then you just eventually get so frustrated you just stop playing. So like, hopefully they don't go with something like that. But if they do it right, I think I'm all for this, especially if they want to. These companies want to make money. Like I think the ad
Yeah.
industry is what's fueled the entirety of the entertainment industry for decades, and
Yeah, it really has.
so I mean, it's only inevitable especially as gaming gets more mainstream.
Yeah, you know a thought I just had. So So I'm not sure if you read this, but I'll read it from the article again. And it says Xbox is reportedly planning to launch its advertising program by the third quarter of 2022. It could include ads showing up as rendered billboards and racing games, and the profits will be shared between game developer and ad company. So you know this, Kyle, because we're doing like content creation. We help out content creators a lot when we're talking about just like the value of like CPM. So
Yeah.
you get paid for every 1,000 views or like 1,000 impressions or interactions, likes, whatever, you know? So does this mean that we might see future where some games are actually going to disclose how many people are actually playing
Yeah, I
to put a
mean,
real world value on it?
yeah, so like I'll kind of further that with some other portions of this article. They said this article states that Sony's program is supposed to launch by the end of this year. There are some concerns about the program, namely how companies will be able to track gamers and their purchasing habits after seeing the ad in game. And some advertisers may want to avoid permitting their product in games with violent content. So it kind of goes back to like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things that Sony's definitely gonna have to do their due diligence in order to find people they want, like find companies they want to advertise. But then the advertisers also gonna have to make sure that they're not putting their ads into like some weird game they don't want. It's very
Hmm.
like, I think for the most part we'll probably see this in a lot of first party studios, like kind of those AAA titles.
Yeah.
I doubt we'll be seeing much of this in indie games for sure, and like those like double A titles where it's kind of like not quite the top of the line.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, like with all the advertising, it's a hard balance, especially like in a newer industry. And we've seen that in internet advertising. We've seen YouTube's growth and their setbacks in the past like decade alone, just from having to introduce ads. And then we've seen all those ad apocalypse of like these companies are seeing where their ads are going and they're furious and pulling out entirely from the ad program. And so it's like there's just YouTube's losing money, creators are losing money,
Yep.
but like, and it's evened out, I think, a little bit. But there's still like some creators who like they make like it's not like they make like seriously bad content or anything. They just like they just get demonetized and they just don't have like what YouTube deems as quote ad friendly. And it's just like
Exactly.
there's always, I think, at least for the time being, that's probably not going to go away anytime soon. Unfortunately, like, there's going to be a lot of like just trying to figure out what works. Um, but like gaming, I think gaming has a leg up on that in the sense of like, especially like the studios, like they know what their game is. They know like, I think they, at least I hope a lot of these AAA studios have a kind of a grasp on what their audience is and like who they normally pull. So they may be able to like go to these advertisers and say, okay, these is kind of the demographic we have, like that play this game. Like here's the premise. Like, is this something? Is this something you guys would be interested in? And I think that communication will be a little bit easier on the gaming side as compared to just like, oh, here's like we're just gonna put your ad on some video. We don't know what it is, but I mean, you paid us, and we're we'll just like
That's a
put it
good point.
wherever. It's like it's a lot less controlled there, whereas
Yeah.
this is far more like. I mean, sure, it's gonna take time, but I think it's going to be easier for advertisers to kind of stay with this and kind of like buy into this more for games. So
Yeah. You know, one thing that this could really backfire for consumers in general and even the developers, because we've talked about this before, how gaming and creating games is a form of art. Coding's a form of art, like the artistic ability to design is an art, telling the story is an art. So how will those ads directly impact the game when marketers that are making the deals with the advertisers are basically trying to optimize the ad so that it can reach the biggest audience? And where
yeah,
I'm getting at is like if you're a developer and you're trying to create a game that's strictly for adults, like let's say you're trying to do something like Doom Eternal, that's not going to be for a large audience, you
yeah,
know? It's like, do you want to have like a major brand, something like, I mean, we talked about Coca-Cola a few minutes ago. It's like Coca-Cola wants to maximize as much as they can. They're more likely
yeah,
to go to like Fall Guys, which will
right, yeah,
literally be for everybody, instead of like, okay, 18 and up,
yeah,
because Doom Eternal is rated M.
yeah.
So,
And I mean, it says here, I think for the most part too, especially in this article, these companies are mainly talking about free to play games, which overall
Yeah.
free to play games
True.
are like that is where you get the biggest reach, you get the most people playing.
Mhm.
You're making games that are more tailored to that are you're trying to tailor at least to like the biggest audience you possibly can, right? Like a game like a game like Doom and like it's certainly like if they put like something Coca-Cola related in Doom, I'd be like, what? Like this doesn't make sense. Like
True.
I mean, then they really wouldn't need the money. I mean, there's probably some
Monster
like
Energy would fit.
I mean, yeah, some like monster, like some like insanely like insane brand would be like I think more fitting for something like that. But even like a
Yeah.
world in a world like Doom, it's kind of like outer worldly anyway. So it's kind of like if you see something from like Earth in it, it's like whoa, like you know what I mean? Like you kind of pull me out a little bit. Maybe I'm wrong,
Yeah,
but
but well, we most games have loading screens.
yeah, I mean that's true.
Yeah, you're literally forced to sit there and look at the screen. That is, I'm telling you now, that's gonna be filled with ads.
Maybe. I mean,
Yeah,
PlayStation 5 is eliminating loading screens a lot of their AAA titles. So I mean,
yeah,
who
that's true
knows?
too.
It's not as
Yeah,
not as much real estate as there once was.
there's so many different ways this could go. I'm just trying to bring up ones that would be slightly concerning,
Yeah,
but try not to be negative.
yeah,
I'm going the realistic route.
yeah,
Route.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, free to play certainly makes the most sense. I mean, this Sony's things launching later this year.
Mhm.
Xbox will be trying to I guess get their stuff off the ground in Q3. So we'll certainly see. I'm gonna be keeping an eye on it. I want to see. I'm hoping they learn quick about what's effective and what's not. I think the biggest limiting thing that and the article hinted at it too. It's kind of like how are they going to find like what's reaching what is reaching who and like how they're like responding to it if they're actually
Yeah,
seeing any like response and like any like increase in sales or anything like that from these in-game ads. That's and there may need to be some systems put in place by the developers that may require some extra work in order to like integrate these systems in of like tracking this stuff. Because like I mean, even in like I mean, in like the software development world, there's especially if you're like running in a commercial application or like you're running an application that's like free or used by a lot of people. There's like SEO companies that dedicate like their whole brand and their
yeah.
whole company to like just making tracking software for you to easily be able to see like who's viewing what and what your audience is doing. So there may need to be some stuff like that too on some of these developers. Just thinking optimistically, I mean, it could possibly create more jobs for developers if they want to come in and like just be, kind of the sort of gateway to these advertisers to be like, hey, like here's how we can help you see who is like paying attention to your ads, who's interacting with them, like what kind of
Yeah.
audience are you actually reaching through these advertisers or
You're
through these games.
basically an analytic expert at that point.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's
Yeah.
definitely some programming stuff in there, but there's going to be a lot of business people too in there saying like, what's actually
You
going
gotta
on.
do this. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of ways this could go. Yeah, I feel like we could talk forever on this because it's just like it's a
Yeah.
big topic.
Yeah. This is pretty big, I think. I
Yeah.
think the fan perspective, the consumer perspective and response is gonna be basically the single driving force of how
Yeah.
this goes down.
Yeah. It's
Because if
good.
there's a
Yeah.
huge outcry, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah. I mean, it's a
But
determining factor, right? They're gonna have to find that balance, and I'm just hoping
yeah,
they don't have like really bad like eyesores whenever they first start like running these
exactly.
programs. That's the only thing I can hope. But
Yeah.
there's a right way to do ads, and you're never gonna please everyone. Like there's a bunch of people that just want nothing to do with ads ever, and they hate them. They'll like
Yep.
they're willing to buy subscription services specifically to avoid them. Me with YouTube, but like and you could probably have that option in for some of these games, but that's another way for them to monetize, right? Be like, hey, I don't want ads in my games, and be like, all right, like they can probably develop something to just switch it off if the user pays like a certain amount of money, like either each month or just
Yep.
one time payment.
Battle Pass.
Just so like because if they do that too, I mean, I get like I was saying earlier about how I kind of hate that model, but like it also makes sense too of like even if advertisers don't make that much money off the actual advertisement, well, like they can still get a guaranteed like sum, like albeit maybe not nearly as much as they would get if they actually sell product, but they're at least guaranteed something from the advertisement, especially if users pay to get rid of
Yeah.
them, so they're not like losing money, at least that much money. So it's definitely, I guess, good in a business sense. It's just a we'll wait and see type thing.
Yes, sir. I think it'll be interesting. This year is gonna be very interesting. for gaming, just the gaming industry and what these devs and businessmen want to do.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
2022, especially leading into UE5. Like not only is like technology getting insane, but like
oh yeah,
it's like becoming like these more kind of mainstream industries are trying to like poke their nose into the gaming industry. So it's gonna be an interesting couple of years. Uh,
absolutely,
and we are right at the
absolutely.
forefront talking about it on the M2 podcast, baby. So don't want to miss
The
out.
perfect time. The perfect time. We're here once a
We're
week.
here, baby.
Once a week. We're gonna be crushing. Try to give you all the best news you could possibly have.
Yes,
We can
sir.
review. Have some guests occasionally doing special episodes.
Yeah,
So
we got a lot of things planned. But you know what?
yep.
I didn't know Quake. I didn't know Bethesda id Software had an update for their 26-year-old FPS game, like the original Quake.
This is wild.
This is
I
very
didn't know this
wild.
either.
PC Gamer put out this article. They said that Quake, the 26-year-old FPS, gets new accessibility options and maps. This is a 26-year-old game and it's getting fresh updates. The new update released a day ago at the time of publishing this article, and it adds visibility improvements, voice-to-text options, and a trio of horde mode maps. The article goes into state every little thing. There's actually a decent amount of accessibility changes. There's also a GIF on the article that kind of shows the kind of the biggest change I think that they implement on the accessibility front, and that's kind of like the high contrast mode, which essentially takes the pretty much very hard to read menu from like that was made in the 90s, and it makes it more it makes it into a more modern look, so you can actually read what's going on. And I think there's even a joke in the article that states especially people that are still playing this like Quake game, this 20th like the first edition, like they're definitely on the older side, right? And they may have a hard time like reading the menus now. But yeah, 20. I mean, this just it blows my mind, man. Like 26 years old, this game is, and they're still giving it love, man. It's crazy to see. This is like, I think I'm gonna make a prediction now. I mean, this is literally probably gonna be Fortnite in like 2040. Like we're still gonna see like updates to that model in one way or another, and we may even go back and they may do like a VR Fortnite in like 20 years time. Who knows?
Aren't they supposedly working on a Fortnite too? A
Um,
sequel?
I wouldn't doubt it. I think you're right. I think I heard something about that. If anything,
Yeah.
they're making a new Fortnite in UE5. If anything,
Oh
right?
my
Like they're
god.
going to use a new engine.
Of course. They've been using it too.
Yeah, probably. I mean, we're talking about Epic Games. They made
Yeah.
the engine, bro. Like they made it. So they're
They just
already
don't
knee
miss.
deep. They really don't, man.
Jeez. We
There's
live way too close to Raleigh. We need to just relocate, bro.
I mean, true. I
That
mean,
place is gonna
true.
blow.
Yeah, no, those companies are gonna get crazy. But yeah, I mean, just to name a couple games too. I mean, there's like Fortnite. I mean, Rocket League. Rocket League 2 is probably a thing. They're probably building that thing in the new engine. Like,
that's gotta be a thing, man.
dude, there's just so many
No way
games
it's
that
not.
in the next couple of years, there's probably gonna be a lot of like live servicey type games that are just gonna just be like, yo, we have a new version for you. Check it out. And it's like the most realistic thing, but it's plays so smooth somehow, and you're like just confused about what's going on, but just it filled with dopamine.
You know, I think I told you this once before. Quake 2 was my first ever game.
Oh, was it?
And yeah, how was it? It was amazing. I
That's
want to go back.
yeah. I mean,
Oh,
I
what?
don't
Oh,
blame you.
was it? Sorry.
I would want to
So,
go back too because I've seen, especially Quake Champions, insane.
yeah,
I was watching that game. It's insane.
it's nutty. It's so nutty. Like I like watching a couple of people that I know play it,
Yeah.
and they're at like the pro level. I mean, they're just on a different level, dude.
Oh yeah.
They're crazy good. So I'm looking at Quake right now, and you can actually buy this for $10 on Steam.
Oh, there you go.
The original, and I mean, it's I kind of want to do it, honestly.
Yeah.
This this update, I mean, this looks amazing.
Yeah.
It looks like fun
There's
for
new like
$10.
horde mode maps, new maps in a 26-year-old game. Like what? Crazy.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
big
yeah.
into it.
Yeah. I mean, I am too. I think Quake Champions for a time was free, and I got it when it was free. So I think it's in my library on like Epic Games or something. I may have to go back and
Yeah,
just check it out. I mean, it just looks like fun. I mean, if I like, I've seen a lot of those like Quake players too. Like they normally don't use WASD because it's just not efficient in that game. Like especially when you have to switch between guns so quickly. It's like they'll
Yeah.
do like some QWER like config with like the number keys, so they're like right there on the number keys, and they're not like twisting their hand like trying to reach the keys.
Oh,
It's
jeez,
it's
I didn't
it's
even
they're
know
on
that. Really?
yeah, they're on another level. There's some that like have completely insane keybinds. It's like it's wild. It's kind of like
I didn't know that.
yeah, it's kind of like I think like some league players like that too. It's kind of like they typically like you stay on that top row really, just because that's where all your abilities are, right? Like QWER. And there's some like I know Corsair includes keycaps. They include WASD keycaps if you're like an FPS gamer, but they also include like special like coded keycaps for the QWER and like I think S. So those are like the common keys for like a game like that, for like a MOBA. It's pretty crazy.
Interesting. Yeah. That's well. I mean, it's pretty cool to see that he got 26-year-old games. I just feel like this might be the developers just saying like, "Hey, can we do an update? Like, I want to play this at home and have a good time.
Yeah, and like
Like
this is
for
awful.
my buddies. Yeah,
Either
go
that
back
or
and
like
redo it.
yeah, either that or like the Reddit was like saying like can we just like just make the menus look more modern? Like please, like just give us an option. Just like oh we
Yeah,
got
true.
you.
And for people that are just listening, it's awesome. Like
Yeah,
you can clearly see and read everything really easily.
yeah.
They got like they added a scroller as well, and I heard you pronounce it GIF. It's GIF, and
I
so you
mean,
get more maps too. So and apparently that's what Bethesda's been working on.
apparently, dude. I don't know what Starfield's doing, but here you go. Quake's pretty
Yep.
good. I did again. It's id, right? Yeah, I guess it's a different studio technically. It's just the
Yeah.
publisher.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, anyways,
I'm just trolling.
yeah. I mean, anyways, go check out the Jif peanut butter on the article and see that menu. It's pretty good. You know what kind of made me sad? This next
Don't
article.
say. Yeah.
This next
Say it
article
ain't
made me a
so.
little sad. The head Xbox
There's no way.
design, head Xbox designer for achievements in Game Pass leaves after nearly 20 years of the company. Chris Novak was his name. He's the key creative force behind achievements and Game Pass, along with some other features. Um, I mean, after reading the article, he seems like he had a pretty pivotal and kind of a pretty crucial part in a lot of these like key systems that have like been so fondly used by Xbox gamers. And so I mean the achievements is like I mean the fact that he's like pretty heavily involved in achievements when that came out on the original Xbox. Was that original Xbox or was that 360? I don't know my history.
That was Xbox 360. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so he was very pivotal member in that development. And he also assisted a lot with Game Pass. I'm sure he's working closely with Phil Spencer and a lot of the leads
Oh,
there.
yeah,
To
guaranteed.
and like I mean we've seen like I mean Game Pass. We've talked about it before, right, Mike? I mean it's Game Pass, dude. Best deal in
We're
video
so
games.
we're literally so bullish on
We are,
like
man.
Microsoft to Xbox. We might as well be like an employee.
You
Like
know,
with what they're doing with Game Pass is
dude,
insane.
that would be that would literally be the ultimate like betrayal. As if like they just took like especially Phil Spencer, if they just took Game Pass and just like bumped it to an insane price and like docked and like removed like games and stuff from it. And just like praying that never happens. But could you imagine the level of Sith Lord that would take if they just like if Microsoft and Xbox
That's
was just
Emperor,
like
dude.
bam, Game Pass is
I
like
mean,
way worse.
that's Emperor Palpatine turning the Senate upside down
I mean, yeah,
and having them vote away their own power.
for real. Like
Like,
I don't think it'll ever get to that. But could you imagine, like in a year from now, it's just different? Let's hope not.
dude, you're making me depressed.
I doubt it's gonna happen. Or I'm just theorizing, you know.
Okay.
Anyways, Chris, but yeah, very interesting news to hear that Chris is leaving after 2 decades. Wish him the
Yeah.
best. I don't know what he's. I mean, like if you're this heavily involved in Xbox for 2 decades, I'm very curious to see where he's gonna go next. Like I'm assuming he's probably gonna take at least a little bit of a break. I mean, going hard for
Yeah, I mean,
2 decades, right? Like you would think that he's probably gonna take at least a little time off for his next thing.
I could see him going to PlayStation.
Yeah, maybe. I think. I mean,
Yeah.
you could really go anywhere. I think with that kind of tenure, you know.
Oh yeah, anywhere in gaming, like
Yeah, for
honestly,
sure.
anywhere in tech, just period.
Yeah.
He,
I
he
mean,
could
yeah.
he could literally go anywhere.
I mean, yeah. Like, if the dude, if he was one of the creatives on achievements and like Game Pass, like these big undertakings for like a video game company. If he was like one of the key contributors to that, I mean, dude knows his stuff. So um,
Yeah.
I definitely hope we see something soon about where he's going next and kind of his thing. I think I've noticed a lot of developers, especially in like the gaming industry, they'll leave a company and then they'll be able to take a couple of weeks off, or like a month off, or like 2 months off,
Oh,
because they
for
could just
sure.
do
Oh,
it.
for sure.
Like, I mean,
Yeah.
because it's like job, like you're gonna get something, especially if you've been in it for a long time. So I hope he takes some time off, kind of just chill, see what he wants to do next, because my man deserves it.
Facts. One of the things that I do feel like is worth noting. Scroll down a little bit past the first ad.
Yeah.
Yeah, underneath the controller. So
Uh,
what it says is in 2016, following the struggle of the Xbox One, he took over as head of Xbox research and design, overseeing the player experience for everything from Xbox Live and Game Pass to xCloud, now Xbox Cloud Gaming, and the Xbox Series X or S. The reason why that's significant is because when Xbox One came out, the UI was kind of trash. It was like there wasn't much going on with it. Everybody was just saying, "Oh, it's just an Xbox 360, blah blah blah," and like it was kind of underwhelming.
oh yeah.
Um, and just the Xbox Live experience, it wasn't very positive. But when the Series X came out, it was like, or by the time the Series X came out, they were using a similar menu and UI and everything like that and overall design that the Xbox One was using.
Yeah.
They like early Xbox One wasn't that good, but by the end of it, it was like awesome. And
Yeah.
then the Series X was awesome, but it was just way more powerful, which made it even
Yeah.
better. And it's like and they go in, it's like everything during this period, like the culmination of this period being the ability to pay 15 a month to stream. So they're talking about the Game Pass,
Yeah.
and you can play it on your phone. So it's like this dude is so he's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Um,
He's had an involvement in a lot of the key components and a lot of the key products that Xbox has released over the past couple decades. So
yeah, absolutely wild.
yeah,
20 years.
20 years. I mean, yeah, like Xbox is one of those companies you're like, I'm like probably never gonna work there, but like, oh man, it's low key kind of a dream, like to work for a company like
Yeah.
that. Um, albeit there's definitely some stressful moments probably at a company like that, especially that size and like the type of systems you're putting out, and it's like, especially when you're one of the creative leads on it, it's like you're really like responsible for if this thing's gonna succeed or not. So it's like probably a lot of stress. But I think at the end of the day, they've certainly succeeded. So, um,
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So it's kind of interesting how they the head Xbox designer for achievements. It's like he didn't do just achievements.
yeah,
Well, which some people actually Steam does this now. So most gamers should know. It's like you do a milestone in a game, they give you like a badge or an achievement, a point
yeah,
system, and you like rank up yourself amongst your friends. It's like that's just genius. And I think Xbox might have been the first ones to do that. I could be wrong,
yeah,
but now they all do it.
yeah. I mean,
So
yeah, I mean, achievement hunting has always been a huge thing. I mean, there's
yeah,
even the achievement hunter, like the YouTube brand or whatever that I think it was linked to like
yeah,
Funhouse, or I think it was I can't remember, maybe it was Rooster Teeth, but yeah, there was a huge brand kind of built around achievement hunting and stuff like that. So definitely played a huge role. I think like having those goals too, it just makes people want to play games. And there's a lot of people that like pride themselves in 100%ing or like platinum
yeah,
trophying and
absolutely.
like PlayStation games. So
I'm one of those. It has to be a really good game, but
yeah.
if I find that game and I'm just like, I want this to consume my soul, and I like gotta go for 100% no matter what. Like
Yeah, sure.
that's when like the achievements definitely add to the layer.
Yeah. Well,
So
we can all thank Chris Novak for being one of the leading innovators on
yeah,
achievements in gaming.
I hope whoever takes his position is just as successful as he was
Oh yeah, for
at
sure.
Xbox.
Yeah,
So
I can only hope, man. And best of luck to wherever he goes next. Definitely gonna be keeping an eye on it. We'll see where he goes and see if he takes on another company and makes them explode with creative ideas. Here's
mhm.
to hoping. Speaking of explosions, I was trying to think of a transition.
My
uh,
God.
just announced today at the time of recording this, April 21st, 2022, Rocket League is getting a battle royale mode. You heard that right. Uh,
Yep.
it is
Knockout
called
Bash.
Knockout Bash. It's so funny. The Verge article, the subheadliner is "Who called it Knockout Bash when all will survive?" was right there. I couldn't agree more, man. That is a
Yeah.
amazing title. All will survive. Anyway, there is a trailer that released that we will watch here real quick. Essentially,
I'm so excited.
yeah, it looks like a lot of fun, man. But I mean, it seems like the design here is you're essentially just ramming into each other and try to like knock them into like I guess a spike ball, maybe out of the map too. I don't know, but you're ultimately just trying to demo the other player, but you're not demoing. You're just sending them into the ether where they perish. Um, it looks like a lot of fun though. I mean, it's a different take on Rocket League, right? So, um, it seems like a more fun take. So I don't I've been vocal before too, like Rocket League isn't I'm not like super into Rocket League like the regular mode, but like this is something I could definitely see myself checking out and just like seeing because it's a different take on it. Um
It's gonna bring so many people back to playing.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Like
for sure.
just in general, there really hasn't been that many people not playing. Like Rocket League has been crazy popular
Yeah.
ever since they got the servers fixed back in like 20 like late 2015, early 2016.
Yeah.
And the reason why the servers were broken is because there were too many people playing and they didn't have the money because they're an indie dev. So it's like now they got the money. I think I bought out actually by Epic Games,
Yeah,
believe it
they
or
did.
not.
They did.
Yeah, so I mean, of course, Games is definitely going to be like, you know what? Put a battle royale in.
Yeah, why
Working with
not?
Fortnite, yeah. Can't
Why
wait for
not,
the
right?
Gears battle royale to drop. Maybe I don't know, but this knockout bash, I'm big on Rocket League. Absolutely big on Rocket. I
Yeah.
was literally just playing Rocket League before we got on and started recording. So this coming out, it looks amazing. There's a lot of different game modes in Rocket League in general for people that just don't think they're gonna have fun doing the 2v2, 1v1, 3v3 mode or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they have basketball in it. They have stuff that like reminds me of volleyball.
Yeah.
And they got hockey mode. It's dude,
Yeah. They have
battle
like
royale now.
yeah. I mean, they had like Rumble too, like just like the kind of
Oh yeah,
fun,
yeah,
like you get these
yeah,
weird like goofy gadgets that you can try and like prevent people from scoring and stuff.
yeah. It's so cool.
Drop
It's
shot,
a lot of fun. Yeah, drop shots, arguably one of the
dude,
best games.
man. Drop shot's
Like,
hard, man. You have to be good at aerials for that, and I'm just never
oh
good at
yeah,
aerials. So
yeah. But they found a way to make it interesting.
yeah,
Like
yeah. I mean, I
every
get
game mode is unique, and it like goes for your I guess your abilities. Like hockey would be a really good one for people starting out to understand like speed
yeah,
and like because you're not flying up in the air as much. But it's like drop shot. If you need to practice your aerials, go on drop shot. You'll figure it out
yeah,
eventually.
yeah. It's a fun way to
So
learn, right? Um, yeah, no, Rocket League for me is one of those games. Like I have to give the credit of like it's one of the more like games in recent history that's like an original like idea almost or like a completely like original take on something. Like
yeah,
there's not really been a game. I don't think there was a game like Rocket League before it really. Kind of the first of its kind in terms of like driving cars into a soccer ball or to just a not a soccer ball but like into a regular like kind of ball.
yeah.
Can't
I
can't
mean,
think can't
well,
think of anything before really.
I would say maybe sort of right. So things close to it would be yeah. You're looking at it being a car flying into a soccer ball,
Yeah,
but what it could also be considered is soccer. Like
yeah,
some people consider it similar to soccer. I consider it more similar to hockey because you can like
yeah.
demo like knock somebody out.
Yeah,
Like it's
that's true.
3v3 mode. That's like a really cool mode in NHL. Like the video game they do 3v3.
Yeah.
They also have like you can't knock the ball out of the map. Like you can knock the puck out of the ring in like real life hockey, but it's not like it's common, but like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you can still hit the window and like keep it out
Yeah,
or keep
yeah,
it in. So it's so yeah. I mean it's unique when it comes to video games, I think. It's definitely grabs a huge audience by
yeah,
being
sure.
more unique than what's on the market.
Yeah, yeah, it's not really much like it, which is all to its benefit. Um,
Yeah.
It's the
I
yeah. Hey, go ahead. I'm gonna
Yeah,
say.
dude. Yeah, sorry, I'm just so excited. The two things
Yeah.
that I'm really excited about. The first thing is like I can grab players and throw them.
I saw
And
that.
the other thing you can do is like instead of just double jumps, you can now do triple jumps. Like
Look at
what?
that. Grabbed it. That's so crazy.
Oh, it's so insane. For anybody that's never played Rocket League, what you do is in Rumble being like a random power up pickup that you can use.
Yeah.
Some people have like suction cups where you can like suction the ball and you like go flying into it, or you can punch the ball with like a boxing glove and it goes launching away. The other thing that you could do is you could have spikes, so you can like form spikes on the top of your car and go run over the soccer ball,
Yeah.
and it would be like stuck on the top of your car, and then you can run like drive really fast and like flip, and it would launch it. Well, now they're doing that with actual other players. It's like, could you imagine launching it to somebody else? They catch you and then throw you again.
Oh, the
Yeah.
plays that could come out of this, insane.
Oh, I'm gonna. Yep. There's Rocket League content on the horizon. They're gonna pop off on streaming. I'll tell you right now.
Oh yeah. I was like, what battle royale?
Battle Royale, comp mode, RLCS, Rocket League
Could you
Championship
imagine?
Series.
Could you imagine a knockout bash championship? Oh,
Oh, that's happening for sure. I'll
probably
tell you
yeah,
right now, that's happening.
probably.
So,
Well, I mean, the mode comes out next week, April 27th. So,
yep,
be on the lookout if you're a Rocket League player. It's
yep.
very soon. Get to play it.
Next
So,
Wednesday.
I mean, I love how they
Oh,
just like it's like less than a week out now. It's just like we announced it today and it's out in like 6 days.
that's
So,
epic games right there.
yeah. Yes.
Hmm.
To this
Well,
or
I'll have opinions next episode. So tune in for episode 15.
tune in.
It's
Yeah.
I'm playing the crud out of that. Guaranteed. Big excited.
uh, Speaking of episode 15,
Yes.
I will be out of town next week. I guess
Oh
next
snap.
weekend. So um we'll
Where
see.
you headed? Do
I
you want to disclose? You
Yeah,
don't have
yeah,
to.
no, again. I am heading to HCS Kansas City. Just to
Oh yeah.
spectate. Might play in the FFA tournament they're gonna have. Just for fun. But yeah, so I will
Yeah,
be in Kansas City next weekend.
that's right. So you're leaving on the Thursday then.
Yeah. That
Nice.
Thursday. I'll
Hmm.
be there. Um yeah, so I will be, I guess, at the time we normally record this show, I will be in Kansas City. I think we'll be landing almost like right at the time we normally record. Um, so yeah, that's the thing.
Cool.
Will there be a show next week? I don't know, probably not. I mean, I guess I'll leave it up to Mike, but I think
Yeah,
we may just do the kind of what we did last time. We're on vacation. We may have a week of standby. So
yeah. Or maybe a surprise episode. It just really depends on what we got going on.
all depends on the
So
man, Figure it out.
yeah.
But either way, um, a worst case scenario, I will be back at least in 2 weeks. So yeah,
That's true. I'm actually surprised I completely forgot that it was next week. I thought it was in 2 weeks.
yeah,
So
yeah, that's crazy. It's
yeah.
I feel like yesterday was April 1st. It's like I just don't know
Yeah.
anymore. Oh,
It's
I
like
don't know
time is
anymore.
going by so quick.
Yeah,
Oh,
for real.
let's take a moment to maybe talk about any new games that are coming out this week.
Yeah,
Uh
if there's anything new. I mean, the biggest thing next week, guys. Look, if you guys, if we don't have a show next week, I mean, Mike already knows where I'm going with this. If we don't have a show next
yep.
week, Switch Sports comes out next Friday. Mark your
We're so,
calendars. If you got a
we're so
Switch,
bullish.
if you got a Switch, dude, $40. I'm pretty sure it was pretty.
I
I may even bring a Switch to Kansas City. Mike, I could be playing Switch Sports, my Airbnb. Could happen.
don't even dude, don't even tell me. I told you I got brand new shorts. I was talking to the guy earlier before the podcast dropped or we started recording, and I got new shorts. I'm thinking I got a wide angle lens.
No.
I got a lot of space here. I'm just saying. I'm just saying we might have ourselves a stream of me
Oh,
doing Switch sports. I'll do
I,
soccer and kick my foot into the table, knock everything over. It'll be sick. It'll
listen,
be a good time.
listen. I think I'm gonna have Wi-Fi at my establishment where I'll be staying. So I think we are
Okay.
actually gonna try and bring a Switch. Like I'm not even kidding. So I think if we're
Uh,
not doing anything that Friday night, we'll probably be playing that.
does anybody else that you're staying with also have a Switch?
I know one other person does, but I don't know if they're bringing it or not. I have no idea. But
I
I
mean, they
think at
should.
the very least I could bring mine. So we'll have
Yeah.
one. I mean, all you need is one, right? You just need a Joy-Con.
Yeah.
I guess per
Yeah,
person.
pretty much.
So um, yeah.
Oh
So
man,
I think I'll definitely bring that. That'd be fun to just play.
just absolutely demolish you guys.
I'm gonna be hitting you up, dude. Like, all right, Mike, where you at?
Where
Playing
you
Switch
at?
Sports, where you at?
Have such a good time.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
yeah, well, I guess for next week, enjoy your weekend.
yeah. We'll
Maybe
try
we'll
to.
be playing some Nintendo Switch Sports together.
Yeah, maybe,
Yeah,
man. That was other than
but
that was all the articles I had this week. All the news I had to cover this week. That was it.
yeah, I feel like we covered everything of note, and yeah, that pretty much wraps up episode 14. And until next time, I guess. I'm your host, Michael Anthony, my co-host, Mr. Kyle Heath. You can find everything, all the links, everything at the bottom in the description. We got pretty much links everywhere, and yeah, we've noticed some growth, so that's nice. Glad to know like we're having what's it called reoccurring reoccurring viewers coming through, so that's nice.
Yeah,
So
no, thank you guys for listening.
yes, sir. Well, without further ado, we'll catch you later. Peace out. See ya.
See you when we see you. Thanks for listening, guys.